Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Customer Support, Customer Success Brain Trust. I want to thank Alan and Y Meadows for putting this together. We just finished up an hour-long conversation talking about the application of playbooks, what they are, and the best places for them to be applied. We worked on a mural together as customer support, customer success executives, and we have some really great results to show you. But we also had Shimon Perry speaking to us about how he uses playbooks and what they are. So I'm actually going to turn the time over to Shimon to kick off the topic for us. And then I've got a great panel here of experts who are going to share with us a few use cases as it relates to implementing playbooks. So with that, Shimon, I'll turn it over to you to just kick our topic off.
Sure. Thanks very much, Paul. Playbooks. What are playbooks actually? They're a set of processes and practices and the guidelines that you use for different purposes, from onboarding to ensure that for an ongoing success of your either customer success or support, and it's also a way to retain customers. A list of all your processes, all your best practices in a very detailed way. So that's in a nutshell the playbooks. They come in different shapes and forms. You can do them going week by week with the triggers and the things that you need to do and to achieve the actions you need to take. You can add to them all your forms and templates that you would use as a best practice. And all in all, it's just a list of all those processes in the right order to achieve a goal that you set right before you even start that playbook.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Shimon. And one of the things we did after his lightning talk, which was very good, we shared out a link to a mural. And so we worked together as a team from many different aspects in customer support and customer success. People got into groups, and then we asked them, where can you see playbooks being applied and effective in your business use case? So first, everyone came up with ideas. And then the second half of our meeting, we plotted those ideas on an impact effort matrix. And so you can see here all the wonderful ideas that the different groups came up with. And then in the last few minutes, we gave people the opportunity to vote on the most applicable, least effort, biggest impact where people could start using playbooks. And so I'm actually going to show you the results page. Customer onboarding got the most votes. So if you haven't implemented playbooks in customer onboarding yet, we're about to speak about how to do that. And then incident response and customer retention, incident responses and customer retention. Those were the top three. Number 4, we had a wiki searchable knowledge base, and then 5, escalation response. So a very good mixture here between success and support. And so I'm going to open it up to our panel, and I'd like to first talk about customer onboarding as a use case. I'm going to go over to Alan first. Alan, could you kind of share a little bit about how you have used playbooks in your customer onboarding experience?
Certainly. Thanks, Paul. And we've had playbooks in my prior business in just about every area of the operation. But one of the key that we found was in customer onboarding. It's an area where everybody's very opinionated, and certainly in the business, you want to make sure that the end result of you providing a solution or product to your customer is that they receive it in the way they expected. They can use it right in the correct way to get the most value out of that. And there's a lot of steps that usually lead up to that. Everything from their knowledge on the solution, how they interface with the support, how they get software, how they find documentation, right? How they obtain training, and all these things can be part of your playbook. And that's what we've done over time is ensure that everything is leading through that best practice. So in our case, the playbook represented the best practice of the best end result. And it's just a way to make sure that, folks that are new to the process, you can plug and play and bring people in, and they don't have to get up to speed in every skill area, which is what you don't want a playbook to be. It should point to the process. It should point to the required skill areas, but it shouldn't have to contain all of that, right? People need to be a bit creative, but it gets you on the right path, and you can get to a predictable result.
Wow, so much is there. I loved how you ended that, Alan. It was perfect. Get you to a predictable result on board, get everyone on the same page. A lot of gems were shared there. So thank you for that. I'm going to move down to incident response as a second use case here. And Yoram, I'm going to ask you to kind of speak about how you've implemented playbooks with incident response. So we're now on the support side a little bit.
So thank you. Incident support response has to do a lot with what's your definition of incident. So the first one we attacked was the cloud down or everybody's impacted incident. And that is akin to a situation room in large world incidents. It's where you need all hands on deck or a representative for every kind or every branch of the organization, and they all need to be synchronous in the same meeting at the same time. Even if they're not necessarily being needed at this right moment, right now, they may be needed 15 minutes down the road. So what we did is we did just that. We established that as a playbook, get everybody notified, get everybody into the room, have every branch of the organization have somebody that's on call to be able to join right now. And then from there, depending on the nature of the incident, we have obviously various ways to handle it, because at the end of the day, you also got to remember that from a from a contextual point of view, it depends. Even when you look at onboarding or incidents, onboarding is a better example. It means different things to different people. It could be one onboarding playbook for the technical team and another onboarding book for customer success, right? The incident has a different characteristic to it because an incident is an incident. If nobody can work, or let's say just North America can't work, then you need to get everybody in and solve the problem ASAP, because it's a huge impact on anything from their operation to your reputation, right? So that's how we implemented it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And so does anyone, in the last few minutes here, does anyone have any thoughts on implementing playbooks and either customer onboarding, incident management, incident report response, customer retention, or a wiki knowledge base?
Yes.
And Shimon. Let's go Alan, then Shimon.
Yeah, just a quick comment, because there was such a good question asked in one of our breakout sessions. A person asked, how do you get the other organizations on board with participating with you in this process so that everybody kind of plays along in the playbook? Because many playbooks are interdepartmental. It's not just one small team possibly owning it. And the thing that I offered up is that you've probably had a lot of conversations that have led up to this point of needing a playbook. Some of the most powerful that I've seen is you can talk about why it will provide clarity and transparency, and provides other people that are not actually in the process, maybe at times, a blueprint on which they can comment. If they think something should be done differently, or they have a suggestion for an improvement, you're not starting from scratch, and they're not just coming in over top, assuming they know everything about how a process works. It provides the transparency that people can now interact, I think, a bit more easily. And I think that's a huge power of playbooks. So I just wanted to add that.
Great insights. Proof of work, proof of work. It shows, I think it lets you be scientific about what you're doing as well. All right, Shimon, why don't you take us home with your last thoughts?
So I think, to summarize it, before you start a playbook, you need to have a clear goal. You need to know what you want to achieve. What are the outcomes you want to achieve? Then you need to have an idea of what you would like to, what are going to be your KPIs for that, and how what will you need to measure and track. Then you need to go and start building on a playbook. That's my secret to doing so. Start with a goal, figure out what you're going to be measured on, what you need to measure, and how you're going to be tracking it, and then implement.
Excellent. Thank you all. Wonderful thoughts. Great discussion. Thanks for your brain share on this. And of course, thank you, Y Meadows, for bringing us all together. We'll see you guys at next month's meeting.
Thank you.